everybody, welcome to Different Drummer Dance. My name is Katrina and it is a new month, which means it is time for a new brain dance. So if you're new to the channel, hello, welcome, glad to have you here. At the beginning of every month, I give you a new brain dance. And if you're like, what's a brain dance? Make sure you check the link below because I'll give you a little bit of information on what the heck a brain dance is and why it needs to be in your dance classes. So today we have a new brain dance for the month of March and we've got a fancy prop. We're going to be using a scarf for this month's brain dance. So grab your stuff, I'll see you inside. All right, everybody, so you've got your scarf. If you don't have a scarf, you can use a light piece of fabric. Ribbons work as well, but I'm also going to leave the link below where I got these scarves. I just ordered them not too long ago, and I love them. They're the perfect size. They're really lightweight, easy to use, and they come in tons of colors, which, you know, if you work with young kids, everybody's like, I want the pink, I want the yellow. This way you have lots of different options, and all your dancers will be happy. So our first element in the brain dance is breath. So with your scarf, you're going to encourage your dancers to see if they can keep the scarf from touching the ground, but only using their breath. So you might try it from high to low. You might challenge them to start the scarf down low and then use their breath to reach it up high. You might see if they can pass the scarf to their friends across the circle, only using their breath. Maybe you challenge them to use different types of breathing, like really quiet breaths. Or maybe poofs, little puffs of breath, like they're blowing out a birthday candle. Really, as soon as you get going with this one, you'll see that there are tons of different options for incorporating breath into your brain dance using your scarf. Next up, we've got tactile. So you're going to use your scarf to do head, shoulders, knees, and toes with your dancers. And you're going to ask them to use different types of touch with their scarves. So maybe, for example, you start by patting the scarf on your head as you do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And you can do this with two scarves as well if you've got enough so that you're doing it with both hands. So you would go head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes, eyes and ears and mouth and nose, head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. And remember, for tactile, you're looking for different types of touch. So maybe every time that you do this, you vary the touch. You could do patting, you could do shaking, you could do rubbing, any kinds of different touch that's going to stimulate what we're trying to find with our tactile element. Next up, we've got core distal, and this is another reason that I love these particular scarves is because they're a nice size. And for this one, where we're reaching from the core distally out, you can hide behind these. So that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to play hide and seek as we move from the core distally out. So see if you can get your dancers to try and curl themselves up real small so they fit behind their scarf. And then you're going to stretch real big outside of your scarf. You could even do this one in partners, or you can hold the scarf for your students to make sure that they are moving small and then moving big outside. You could do it in partners, or as well, again, you can do it with two scarves and really work with your students on making them into a small shape so they're moving from their core distally out. And the scarf will mimic that same action of curling inwards and outwards. All right, next up is head tail. So this is a little bit similar to the core distal one where you're going to hold the scarf up, but the challenge here is to just move your head and play peekaboo. So as you're holding the scarf out, see if you can get your students to peekaboo from one side to the other side, not moving the scarf, but only moving their head. So if you've got small students, teeny tiny dancers, you might want to, fold this up so it's a little bit smaller and see if they can not move the scarf, but just move their head. And you might have to help them with that one as well. So that's for your head. Now for the tail, this one gets a little bit fun. You're going to pretend that this is your tail feather. Maybe you're a peacock or a flamingo, and you're going to attach your scarf to your tail. You can do this kneeling down or standing up. I'd probably do it standing up, but for the sake of you seeing the video, I'll say kneeling down. And see if you can get them to move their tail feather just by swishing their hips, maybe doing some pliés, some down and ups, or you could even try tucking it in, right? And seeing if they can lift their tail up to the sky like that. So now you're trying to move from your tail. All right, now we're moving into upper and lower. So you have two options for this one. We're going to try and paint rainbows, right? We've got St. Patrick's Day coming up. It's springtime. Hopefully we're seeing a lot of rain and rainbows. We're going to paint rainbows with our scarves using our arms first for upper and then our legs for lower. So you can't do this one with just the scarf, right? Painting with one arm, painting with the other one, maybe with both arms, or if you've got pool noodles, which is another one of my favorite props, you can actually turn this into like a paintbrush, which the students love, and it's a really fun visual to use as well. And it really encourages them to reach through space as they're painting their rainbow with their arms and then with their legs. So again, you can do this with just the scarf, or if you've got a pool noodle handy, you can use that as well. But you're just encouraging them to reach through space using their arms and then their legs for upper and lower. Next up in our brain dance, we've got body side. So this one can be especially tricky for younger dancers because we're trying to isolate the same arm as a leg, and that can feel a little bit awkward and not so easy to teach sometimes when you've got young dancers who aren't aware yet of their right side and their left side. So one of the ways that I like to combat that is to put students either on their sides or on their tummies or on their backs, because usually then you really only have access to one side or the other side. So we're going to get on our stomachs for this one, and the challenge is going to be to pass our scarf from our foot to our hand on the same side. So see if I can get some room here. You're going to get on your tummies, start with it in your hand, and then kind of similar to how we did the rainbow stretch, see if you can pass the scarf to your foot, and then from your foot to your hand, right? Back and forth. Maybe after you've done that a couple times, you can pass it with one foot to, that's really tricky, to the other foot. Probably help if I didn't have socks on. But anyways, so there you go. You get it on one side, pass it to the other side, and then all the way back and forth. So you're using the sides of your bodies for this one. Now we've got cross lateral, and I would suggest that you use two scarves for this one, and one color and then the other color. So two different colors, because again, cross lateral can be kind of difficult for students who don't yet know their right and their left side. So here's what you're going to do. Take one scarf in one color, might want to fold it up a couple times, and put one foot on that scarf. Now, with your other color scarf in your opposite hand, you're going to reach down and touch, so you're crossing over the midline, that pink scarf to the yellow scarf. So that's why it's important to have two different colors. Now, extra bonus, you might try balancing. Crossing over and up, crossing over and up, and then you would switch. So now I'm going to stand on the pink, and I'm going to bring my yellow scarf to the pink scarf. Down, and up, and down, and up. You could even get really creative and do this with different body parts as well. So you could try bringing one scarf to the other scarf, maybe wrap it or tie it around your knee. You could also incorporate that moving around the room as well. So that is for your cross lateral. All right, finally, my friends, we've got vestibular. So there's lots of different options for this one, but we're looking to stimulate the vestibular system by hopping, by spinning, by balancing, bouncing. So the world is your oyster for this one, but here are some of my suggestions. Put your scarves down and see if you can jump over the scarf, forward, backwards. You might try hopping, and you can have a conversation with your students about the difference between a jump and a hop. Ooh. And you might try spinning with it around, switching hands as you go, maybe the other direction as well. And for a fun one that's on the floor, you can use this as a cape maybe and balance it on your back, or like a blanket, or it's your shell for your turtle, and you're going to just crawl and balance that scarf on your back, maybe moving it up and down or chasing it around and around. So anything to get that vestibular system moving and activated. All right, everybody, there's your March brain dance. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure and leave me a comment below. Let me know if you found any of this helpful or if you used them in your classes. If your kids loved some or hated some, that's always good to know too. And please don't forget to subscribe so that when I post these videos weekly, I try and do it weekly, you will be the first to know. All right, take care. Happy teaching. Bye-bye.